शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तः स्थमेश्वरम्।
I am going to talk about the effects of your diet on meditation and the effects of selfless service on meditation. Let us talk first about the diet, how it influences your entrance into the superconscious level while you meditate. You see, the food which we eat makes your mind, makes your body, and makes the excreta, the fecal matter. Medical science does not believe that food builds your mind, but the scriptures, they very categorically explain that the mind is also built by the food which you eat. So the food can be categorized in 5 segments: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. We are not bifurcating on the basis of the carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, etc., on the grounds on which the medical science have done it. The scriptures, they say that whatever the food you eat, it can be divided in these 5 segments. The earthy foods are the grains, the cereals, and the pulses. The watery elements are the vegetables. They have maximum water content. The fire elements is found maximum in fruits, which are ripened in sun heat, and the air element found maximum in leaves like cabbage, spinach, or whatever the leaves which you could eat raw. Then the akash element, the etheric element, when you do not eat, that is the fasting element. So on this basis, the highest, the heaviest food is that of grains, cereals, and pulses, and heavier to the grains, it is meat. And we feel that meat is not made for human beings. But of course, this is again a topic for debate and discussion. I am not entering in those debates right now. I am saying that the highest, the heaviest, the food is the cereals and pulses, the grains. And then it is the lighter, the water element, then more lighter is the fire element, then the air element, that is the vegetables, fruits, and then the leaves, and then it is the fasting element when you do not eat anything. So whenever you reduce the intake of food quantitatively, or you improve the quality of food intake, from grains you switch over to vegetables, even reduction of the quantity of grains will be beneficial. If you switch over to vegetables, then switch over to the fruits, then switch over to the leaf, then switch over to the juices, then switch over to water, and then if you could remain on air, then you find that you come nearer to divinity, because God is the most sublime, the most micro. Whereas all the 5 elements, the earth element is the most heaviest element. So from heaviness to the lightness, when you move, the God is the most lighter, and you come in the contact of that. So the food which you eat, if you eat heavier food, then your mind also becomes externalized, extrovert in nature. And if you take the fruits and vegetables, and sometimes also stop taking foods, then depend on the internal energy more, you give the chance to your body to clean itself, then you find that your mind becomes more divine. Then there is a pull. The spirit is inside. There is a pull. It pulls inside and then gives the qualities of itself. And that is the reason that for spiritual upliftment, all the sages in the past, in the history or in the scriptures, when they used to meditate, they also used to keep the fast. Muhammad Sahib, he kept roza. It was a fasting. Christ, he did fast. Moses, he also fasted. Gautam, he also fasted. Mahavir, Guru Nanak Dev, all the saints and sages, they fasted. Without fasting, it is never possible that your meditation becomes proper. So fasting does not mean the abstinence of the food fully. It is only the reduction in the quantity or the improvement in the quality. And the qualities which I am narrating, from earthy to watery, then to fiery, then to airy, and then to the etheric elements. In Sri Ramcharitmanas, to which I am the student, you see, everybody, whomsoever attained the spiritual upliftment, they opted for fasting. And that the fasting was a systematic fasting. Then how to reduce the food intake slowly and slowly, how to jump to the better quality, and then how again to come to the normal diet system. And what we are advocating, that will be much sufficient, that if you do not eat till 12 noon, particularly after the age of 25 when your building has stopped, and during lunch you eat fruits and salads only, that is the air element and the fire element, and the dinner may be more of vegetables and less of grains. And few days in a week you may select when you stop taking grains also. You will find that your meditation becomes more perfect, and you will find that your mind becoming more element. You will find that you are able to locate the mistakes where they are. You are not then biased for yourself and for your relatives and for your friends. It becomes a very mind filled with wisdom. So the more when you fast and you meditate during that period, you will find that your meditation becomes more proper. And that is why among Mohammedans, during Rozas, they are supposed to offer their prayers in the form of namaz several times a day. In routine, they are supposed to do 5 times a day. Similarly, in Christianity, while fasting, when they keep Lent, that is the fasting, then also they do a lot of prayers and practice stillness of mind. Even Christ used to go deep into the forest, and there he prayed and used to return early in the morning before the sunrise. Similarly, Moses, he also kept this fast. So by fasting, you make your mind more lighter, and then it becomes nearer to God. And meditation is very, very important. Similarly, there is a very important role of your unselfishness in your meditation. If meditation is not coupled with unselfishness, then it will not work. Lord Krishna in Gita says to Arjuna, Abhyasen tu kaunteya vairagyencha grahite. He says, O Arjuna, you have to practice the meditation, and also vairagya means detachment. Detachment practicing is a complementary step toward the meditation. They have to go together, jointly. They are complementary to each other. If your meditation is going on, then the quality of selfless service shall increase, then ego shall not be developed. A meditative person, when he serves somebody, then the ego is not developed. He feels obligated because of getting chance to serve others. And if there is not a meditative mind, then while serving, he feels that he has helped somebody, increasing the ego more and thus separating himself from God. So as the meditation is effective in the selfless service, similarly selfless service is more effective towards the meditation. In selfless service, we advise that whatever the possessions you have, 10% of that must be offered to your source of enlightenment with a feeling of serving God. And then from your clothing, from your ornaments, from your food too, and then from your timings, say 1 hour in 24 hours. If this is offered to God without the feeling of help to somebody and without a feel of I-ness, I have done that, she has not responded according to my choice, although I did so much for she or he. You see, now this feeling of I-ness, although you did something for others, but because of multiplication of I, you are separated from God, you are under more tensions, you are under more stresses, you are under more miseries. Has there been no multiplication of ego, and the service should have been without any expectation in return, then the meditation should have become more proper. So in selfless service, we advise such type of the services, and all the saints and sages who experience God enlightenment, they were selfless workers. And selfless workers may be a social worker also, who increases the ego because of helping the poor society. But this selfless worker, where the ego also diminishes, it is a spiritual person. When a spiritual person serves and when a social person serves, there is a lot of difference. One increases the ego, separated from God, another reduces the ego, then coming nearer to God. So in meditation, if the selfless service is added, then you will find that the pull of God becomes more easier when you meditate. The consciousness shall enter into the superconscious level more quickly and into the deeper stages. If the practicing of selfless service to God is offered, not to help somebody, it is a service to God, and that is the worshipping of immanential aspect of divinity. I have already told in detail about the transcendental nature and about the immanential aspect of divinity. For transcendental, we were entering into the stage of trance known as meditation, and for immanential, it was the service to God who is residing in all, without a tinge of ego and without any expectation in return. And if these two things are added and the thought of God is somehow being practiced, then in meditation you will find that when you sit, the consciousness enters deep into the superconscious level quickly. Thus, these two aspects of sadhana, known as fasting and known as selfless service, they have a very important role in your meditation. These words have been put in all the scriptures of various religions. Among the Mohammedan scriptures, it is named as Roza. Among the Sikh religion, it has been mentioned as Tap. Among Old Testament and New, it has been brought as fasting. In Hindu scriptures also it has been mentioned as Tap. Maybe it is Gita, maybe it is Sri Ramcharitmanas, or whatever the scriptures are. Similarly, the selfless service has been put in various names in various scriptures. Among the Muslim scriptures, it is mentioned as Zakat. Among the Sikh scriptures, it has been mentioned as Daspanth. In Old Testament and the New one, they have been mentioned as charity. And in charity, the tithing is the most important aspect, to tithe 10% of whatever you have. Then in Hindu scriptures, it has been mentioned in various words like seva, like bhajan. Bhajan is misunderstood as ringing the bells in the temples, as playing on some instruments and then singing the songs in the glory of God. In fact, it is not a bhajan. It was only singing of the bhajans, singing of the songs. Bhajan means to serve God. So whatever you perform, whatever the duties you do, whatever the actions you perform, if they could offer to God, if you could feel that they are going to God, then it becomes bhajan. Even if you offer water to a dog and you feel that in dog your God resides, then that may become a bhajan. And if you are sitting in the temple and performing artis and other rituals, and you are feeling that you are doing this all for your kids and your family members, then it may not be a bhajan. Bhajan is the offering to God selflessly out of love. So in Hindu scriptures it is known as seva, it is known as bhajan. And in Ramcharitmanas it has been categorically and most emphatically brought the word bhajan, and it has been said, Lord Rama says, Sumiras bhajas nirantar mohi. The Sumiran is the meditation and bhajan is the selfless service. So like Lord Krishna, Lord Rama is also taking both together. So there are three sadhanas. If we now join all these three, one is the meditation, the second is the fasting, and the third is the selfless service known as bhajan, seva, distribution, tithing through various names. Now in Quran Sharif they are called as Roza, Zakat and Namaz. Their Namaz is similar to the meditation, remembering that God. The Roza is similar to the Tap, and then Zakat is similar to the selfless service bhajan. So in Hindu scriptures it is known as Tap, Seva and Sumiran, where Sumiran is stands for meditation, Seva is the tithing 10%, and the Tap is the fasting part. In Christian scriptures and in Jewish also it is mentioned as fasting, charity and prayer. Their prayer is the stillness of mind, the meditation similar to meditation, and then charity is the selfless service to God, and they advocate 10%, and then fasting, they keep the Lent over there. Thus all three has to be integrated with meditation, the seva and the tap part. That is why we are advocating the sadhana of tap, seva and sumiran.
We keep on getting the questions from various aspirants all over the world regarding the principles of Tap Seva Sumiran. These questions are added in the related episode with their answers and explanations by Pujya Shri Akhileshji. Mr. B.V. Chauhan from Baroda, Gujarat wants to know what would be the results of meditation without fasting and selfless service.
If fasting is not adopted with meditation, particularly the reduction of intake of food and then the reduction in the intake of grains is not adopted, then during meditation one shall enter into sleep, and there would be a false belief that he was under meditation. Most of the people, they enter into sleep while meditating because of the lot of grains inside and huge quantity of food intake. Similarly, if the detachment is not practiced through giving, then the mind shall never become detached. So those organizations or those individuals who are very advanced in meditation but not able to practice the detachment, their meditation can never be completed. Because the effect of meditation shall be that he has to remain detached in his day-to-day activities and in this world. And this has to be done only through the detachment practicing. And I have found many persons who are on the top of their meditation, but they cannot dare to give the money whatever they have. You have 10 lakhs in your bank account, can you give 1 lakh if you are a great meditator? If you are detached, you can give. So practicing of detachment is very important while it is practice the meditation.
Tap Seva Sumiran is a unique lifestyle for holistic development of human personality at physical, vital, mental, intellectual and spiritual planes. If you too want to change your life through Tap Seva Sumiran, you are welcome at our ashram or right at Badri Narayan Sevagram, Choti Panchli, Bagpat Marg, Meerut.